let's talk about something really tough. I mean, those moments in your walk of faith that really, truly test everything you thought you believed. We're going to call it what it is, the crossroad of absolute dependency. So let me ask you a question and be honest with yourself. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're praying, you're crying out, you are desperate for just a whisper from God, and all you get back is silence? Yeah, it's a tough place to be. And trust me, you are not the first person to feel that way. And these feelings, they're so specific, aren't they? It's that feeling like your prayers are just hitting the ceiling and bouncing right back down. It's when you try to praise, but the words just won't come out because your heart is just so heavy. You can't even lift your hands. All those scriptures, all those songs that used to feel so powerful, now they just feel empty. And it always seems to happen right when you need to hear from God the most. Now, our first instinct when this happens is to beat ourselves up, right? What am I doing wrong? Is my faith weak? Am I being punished? But I want to propose a different idea. What if this isn't a sign of your failure? What if this is actually a destination? This isn't weak faith. This is the crossroads. So what in the world is the crossroad? Well, think of it like this. It's a place where God gently strips away everything you've been doing for him, all the service, all the prayer, all the worship, to find out what's underneath. He wants to see if you'll still trust him when all the feelings and all the activity are gone. It's a test of reliance, not of performance. And this perfectly captures the heart of it. You've got Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego literally staring into a fiery furnace, and they make this incredible declaration. They say, look, we know our God is able to deliver us. But then they hit us with the most powerful 3 words in the story. But if not, even if God doesn't show up the way they expect, their trust, their allegiance, it's not going to change. That's a crossroad moment. And listen, this is not a new thing. This is a pattern. Just look through the Bible. Every single person who had a covenant, a promise from God, had that very promise tested. Abraham was promised a son and then told to sacrifice him. Job had everything and then lost it all in a day. Joseph had a dream of greatness and was promptly thrown in a pit. Even Jesus, knowing who he was, had that moment in the garden, praying, let this cup pass. The test has never been about God's faithfulness. It's always about ours when things look bleak. Okay, so that brings us to the big practical question. It's one thing to understand all this, but what do you actually do when you're standing right in the middle of it? When your prayers feel hollow and faith seems like a distant memory, what's your move? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Think about David facing Goliath. Our spiritual checklist would say, pray for hours, start a fast, call a prayer meeting, right? But what did David do? He did something else, something simple yet incredibly powerful. He remembered. Over and over, he remembered. And this is the key. Please get this. Your personal history with God, your testimony, it's not just a collection of nice memories. It's not just a story to tell. It is active, powerful ammunition for the battle you are in right now. David's confidence didn't come from how he felt that day. It came from the proven track record of God's faithfulness in his past. So I want you to make this personal right now. When the prayers aren't working, start remembering. Remember when God healed you. Remember when he provided for you when you had absolutely nothing. Remember that door he opened that no one could shut. You have a history with him. Recalling those past victories is how you prophesy your future ones. Now, remembering is huge, but there's something even deeper, something that holds you steady when your memory gets foggy from the fight, and that's your covenant. See, your testimony is your personal history, but God's covenant is your legal, unshakable foundation. Just look at this contrast. Feelings, well, they can lie to you, can't they? They change like the weather. They'll deceive you in a heartbeat. But the facts of God's covenant, they are the complete opposite. They're unbreakable, they never fail, they are eternal. At the crossroad, you have to make a choice to stand on the rock of what is true, not the sand of what you feel. And these aren't just vague, hopeful ideas. They are documented, contractual facts. He will never leave you. That's a fact. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That's a fact. He who began a good work in you will complete it. Fact. These are the truths you have to grab onto with both hands when you feel like you've got nothing else. And who better to talk about this than Job? I mean, come on, he was the poster child for being at the crossroad. And in the midst of it all, he says this, he knows the way that I take. In other words, this isn't random chaos. This is a process. This is a trial. And the whole point isn't to destroy me, but to purify me, to bring me out on the other side like pure gold. Okay, so we've looked at the what and the why. Now let's get really practical. Let's boil this all down into a game plan, a clear strategy for what to do when you find yourself standing at that crossroad.
All right, here it is, your 5-step strategy. Number 1, choose to stand on your covenant, not your feelings. Plant your feet on the rock. Number 2, remember, go back through your history with God. Pull out that ammunition. Number 3, make your but if not declaration. Surrender the outcome to Him. Number 4, let what you know to be true about God shout louder than what you feel. And finally, number 5, stop making backup plans. Depend on Him absolutely. He has to be your only resort.
And this is how you can reframe your whole experience. You can look at that place of silence, that place of struggle, that place of doubt, and you can declare this over it. This is not my end. This is not my breakdown. This is the setup for my greatest testimony yet. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. As you look at whatever crossroads you're facing right now, if you see it not as a dead end, but as a setup, what kind of story is God writing in your life? What amazing story of His faithfulness is about to be told? What will your testimony be?